Hey guys, Coach Danielle here. I hope everybody's having an amazing evening. So tonight, I want to talk to you guys about how critical it is for you to have peace in your spirit, peace in your household, peace in your life. And I'm with the incomparable Alicia Powell, who's going to be telling us more about that. Even outside the pandemic, I think people realize that, you have to have a home base that's peaceful because there may come a time when that's the only place you go is home, right? So for those of you who don't know who I am, of course, my name is Danielle Patterson Winningham, former JP Morgan Chase Vice President, Master Life and Master Business Coach. And before we got on, we were talking about, just how priceless peace is. And a lot of times we're so busy as women that we don't pursue peace. And don't get it twisted. Peace is one of those things that if you don't pursue it, it doesn't always naturally just come to you. Sometimes we pursue drama and stress in the interest of trying to help our family and our friends. And so we have to be just as deliberate about protecting our mental space as we are about taking care of our family and friends. So, Alicia, if you could introduce yourself and talk to the women about why peace is so essential to their life, business, and everything in between.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Again, Alicia Powell, CEO and founder, visionary leader of APME Transformative Meditation, and also the founder of Women of Intrinsic Peace. All of us are playing different roles, and as women, we have so many more hats. So whether you're a mom, whether you're a daughter, whether you're a school teacher, wherever you are, we're wearing multiple hats. And so when we get overfilled in certain areas, if we have all these cups in front of us and we're not getting filled in them, that's where we get burnt out. So it's so important that you make peace a priority, because when you have a foundation in each one of those cups, then you can continue to borrow from another cup and you can keep pouring and filling those up. So it's so important to have that grounded foundation so that you're prepared anytime something comes your way. Absolutely.
I agree. And yeah, we tend to run them cups over. The cup and the saucer. We do. And I know I tend to internalize a lot of what's going on. I know somewhere along the way, we as women have been taught to put on a good face. And guys, if you're somebody who's looking to increase the peace in your life, make sure you go to tinyurl.com/@me-interest and schedule a call with Alicia so she can unlock some of the tools that you need in order to start to create that peace in your life. But I think that we don't really realize negative impacts internally that lack of peace can have on us. Can you talk to us a little bit about that, Alicia?
Absolutely. I think a lot of times we are reactive instead of being proactive, and it's because we're going, and we don't take those moments to be still. And it's so important, just as we schedule everything else in our lives, we have to be able to schedule that time with ourselves. And a lot of times we run into these things because we really don't know ourselves. We don't know how we're going to respond or react to things. We're kind of just going through life. But the more that we take those moments to be still, and whether, whatever your faith background may be, for me, it's just being still and hearing from God, or just meditating on his word. You have to get filled. You have to. The thing is so my background is in cognitive behavior techniques. So I really study about the brain, the actions, all of that stuff. And so what happens is when we get those racing thoughts, because our mind builds these neural pathways in our mind. So these neurons, they continue to build and build and build. So sometimes we'll build a negative pattern. Sometimes we'll build images in our mind. We have negative talk to ourselves, and it's just building all of that in our mind. And so when we're sitting still, we're not creating those moments to sit still and unload those things. And then even if we are, through certain things that women are utilizing today, sometimes they're not as effective because, one, we're not keeping up with the consistency of it, but also we're not getting to the root. We're not getting to the root cause of these things and being able to map of what those things are, so that we can uproot them. And then even in a lot of therapies, I feel like we don't go far enough because we uproot them, but we're not replacing them. And that's what I refer to as a replacement theory. So we have to be still, learn ourselves, have that moment to let our mind kind of calm down. And the more that we repeat that, our brain is actually going to remember that and memorize that. It goes into our subconscious. And now we're starting to slow time down. We're starting to think before we speak. We're starting to just kind of have a higher awareness of everything around us.
Girl, you giving too much away. Now, wait a minute. You almost went into a class. And I know me personally, I used to practice meditation prayer before I did anything in the morning. I got away from it. Why? I don't know. We tend to get away from things that work. But I remember when I was doing it consistently, I never ran out of time. And it seems like with that to do in the morning, you would run out of time, but somehow time always made itself up. But I know that also stress is a big killer for women. Strokes, heart attacks, heart disease, and a lot of that comes from internal stress. So could you talk a little bit about, what that pursuit of peace will do for us in terms of our longevity?
Absolutely. So when we deal with a lot of these diseases or these things or these conditions, they kind of don't come out of anywhere. They build from a point and they continue to add layers as we go. And that's where we see the manifestation of those. And so when we're able to put ourselves in a place of peace, our body's made up of many cells, it's made up of water, it's made of these vibrations and this energy. And so when we're able to be still and be calm, we're actually treating our body. We're actually loving on our body. This is our vessel, right? This is God's temple, God's vessel. And so, we have to take good care of it. And so the more that we practice that being still, we can be more aware of the changes in our body. We can be more aware, okay, we're eating a little bit more of sugary things at this time, things that lead to diabetes, to high blood pressure. We're not paying attention to those things. And then that leads into the physical health, that leads into the foods that we're eating that we're not stopping to look at the labels. We're just like, hey, it's convenient, let me grab it. As women, we're busy, we're on the go. And so we're not able to prep and put ourselves in position to be able to eat healthy things, because that has a lot to do with the brain, what you put into your body, what you put into your ear gates, what people speak over you. So we take on a lot in our environment. So when we're able to be still and make peace a priority, and like Miss Danielle Winningham said, when you make that your priority, you've got to schedule that as your priority and keep that as your habit. Things go so much better and you're so much healthier. I know I feel so much better, especially over time. I've had multiple car accidents. I've suffered from, fibromyalgia, strained muscles for about 8 years now. And I went through everything. I went to chiropractors. I went to physical therapy, trigger point injections. I've had 80 sessions of trigger point injection needles injected into me, and no one could tell me what was going on. But the more and more that I was meditating and I was at peace, no situation that came at me caused me to get, out of that area of peace. There was still a peace there, and I could still come back to it and build on it. So it sustained me and it healed me. So it's very important.
Wow, that's unique. And one thing I know personally is that, a lot of our confusion, a lot of women take a long time to make decisions, even decisions that they feel are right with their discernment, even decisions that they feel are their next step. I know with me, when I get quiet, I hear better from God. It doesn't take me as long to move. I know what's from Him and what's from not. I know what's a good idea, what's a God idea. And so talk to us about how just that ability to slow down and get still is instrumental to us being our discernment and our ability to be able to live at that next level.
That's huge. Whew. Okay, so that's like another class in a class of a class. So, we're all spirit beings, and different people subscribe to different things. But what I will say is, when you receive of the Holy Spirit dwells in you. And so when you are still, you are in alignment, you are connecting with the Spirit. And so the more that you're doing that, you are yielding yourself, right? All of our self-doubt, all of our fear, all the negativity, you are yielding and letting that go and allowing a greater power to be able to lead. And so now you're in connect to where now you've cleared that mind space, right? So, not watching TV and social media for hours and allowing that to take up our brain space. When we're being still, we're able to clear that stuff out. And it's like a clear tunnel to hear exactly where we need to go, what we need to do. Being able to slow down and say, wow, I noticed, I haven't been taking care of my body. When's the last time I've taken an Epsom salt bath to relax my muscles? When's the last time, I lit my diffuser, so that I could get those essential oils into my body? The thing is that we look at a lot of times just one dimension of things. But when you make peace a priority, it literally aligns your physical, it aligns your mental, it aligns your spiritual, it aligns your emotional. And that's the biggest thing, especially here in the States. We are operating a lot, especially women, off of our emotions. We already have high emotions, but then we have a society that, again, bearing those many hats, that the pressure is so thick. And so we end up crumbling. And so we have to set that track of peace as a priority in order to be able to have alignment in our life, to be able to prioritize. You all talked about time management in a previous video. And so you're able to align and map out all of those things. And it just makes life easier. It makes life easier. You can slow down to enjoy it.
Which you segue right into our last point, which is, we've got to slow down. I don't know. I'm just in this place right now where I want to take women on this journey to being able to have it all and understanding why you grind now. And you grind now so that you can rest later. You grind now so that you can afford to slow down. You grind now so that you can take care of your family, take care of your future, take care of things around you. And it's either grind now or don't. And spend the rest of your life really working for somebody else, or really in a place where you're not at your optimum and you're not happy. So I think just understanding how to get peace now. Because that's the thing, money can't buy peace. Money can buy a bunch of stuff, but it cannot buy peace. So peace is one of those things that you've got to learn for yourself, how to go out there and build, how to pursue those boundaries that you need to draw in order to be mindful of what's important to you, what triggers you. Yes. But what can you tell us about just the overall benefits of just being mindful and peaceful?
Absolutely. I think we overlook peace a lot. And we don't really acknowledge it. When we look at in our faith, who are, our master, if you will, our teacher, was much of one in peace. His energy exuded peace, and so I just look at it where, like you said, we only get one life, y'all. We only get one life. You only got one shot. And it's so important to grind now and to be able to rest later. But a lot of times in those seasons when it's a busy season, there's still moments of rest that you have to be able to be in tune and aware to of when to, okay, let me just take a moment. Because like right now I'm in my season of busy. And now another layer is getting ready to come on to it. But still, even like tomorrow is the day that God has provided rest. And so we have to, when you have peace, you're able to be aware of that, because otherwise I'll be like, oh, I got to do this, got to do that. And I'm still going. But the grind, even in the grind, it's still a pace. Mm-hmm. In the book of James, it talks so much about that marathon race, and we're not running for this shorthand in front of us. we're running for the long haul. And if you notice, we are here today because of previous generations, right? So it's so important even for us to pave the way for the future, for our legacy, for our family. But that's why we're here. We are here to impart into this society and to leave a good mark. And so we have to have peace. We have to have peace. It is a priority. Everything that we talked about, you're not going to be healthy without it. You're not going to be sane without it. You're not going to feel good without it. You're just not going to be aware. Your head's going to be down and you're going to be missing out on everything. And something that you touched on that was so important is women, we don't move fast enough sometimes. Sometimes it may just be we're tired, but a lot of it's fear. We're fear because of the self-doubt, the negative talk. And so when we're at peace, let me tell you, this is a war. This is a war that's going on spiritually and physically. When you are at peace, that is a weapon. It says in the scripture that that's your armor. Peace is at your feet where you walk. So everywhere you go, peace needs to go with you. And you have to make that as your priority, because everything that you do, you've got to have peace carrying out through it. The way that you care for people at your job, at your business, wherever it is, you have to have peace flowing through it. So if you don't have peace as a foundation for yourself, you're not giving the fullness of what you could to others. And they really need that. That's what we're here for, is that human interaction, that connection. Because we're all one. So it's I can't harp on it enough. I want to go deeper. But that's, 4 different programs and stuff, but peace is pivotal. It has to be the priority. Everything else runs from it.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you, Alicia. And just even this conversation has helped me recenter a lot of my thought processes. A lot of times, I think we need people like you around, because even in our best efforts, we forget. Even in our best efforts, we forget. So what do you want to say in closing to everyone just about this journey? And guys, if you're ready for peace, make sure you schedule your call at tinyurl.com/@me-interest. I just can't tell you enough how critical a journey of this magnitude is to your overall well-being, your personal business success, your ability to pack your peace wherever you go, your ability to unpack some of your past and not let that be a disturbance to you. But what do you want to say in closing, Alicia, to anyone that's listening?
Absolutely. So again, it's a journey. And I realize that a lot of us are clinging to the material things. That's where we see a lot of suicide and drug use. And we turn to these temporary things because we're hurting. And we go on and we cover these areas. And so we're not digging to those things. And so now it's coming out in our behaviors, where your energy is off. It's just different, right? And so when you walk down this journey of peace, is not a one-time thing. It's something truly that, if you think of concrete, right, and you got to get underneath of it, you got to crack that thing open and you got to peel some layers. But a lot of times we stop at that point and we sit there, and in the scripture, it tells us that those demons, when you get delivered one thing, there's a magnitude coming back. So just as you chisel away from a few things, it either comes back because it hasn't been stretched enough and you haven't gotten that replacement. You haven't gotten on the other side. And then when you get on the other side, you still got to walk it out from there. So it's so important that you sign up for this, that you get your peace strategy call. I've been walking in this thing for a minute, through so many things, through death, through traumas. I could go on and on, but I am so grateful that God has used it all to glorify him, to be able to help women get out of that stuck place and walk in this journey together. I love people. I love seeing people get free. And that's what it's about. So if you want to get free, if there's anything inside of you like, man, I just can't shake this and I don't know what to do, you need to join in the program, the Women of Intrinsic Peace. Get your peace strategy call and we can walk it out together, strategize exactly what your customized plan looks like, and then come up with the next steps.
Absolutely, guys. tinyurl.com/@me-interest. Your peace is that important. It truly is. I want to thank you, Alicia, for blessing everybody today.
Thank you.
And you guys have an amazing evening. And don't forget to pack your peace wherever you go.
Yes. Take care.